It is just about time for me to restock my kitchen. In fact, I just got done unpacking my Thrive Market box, which I'll show you in a minute. They're sponsoring today's video. But before we do that, I want to rewind and show you some footage from the past few days, because I did the thing that I have done dozens of times on this channel, and that is attempt to use up as much stuff as I can from around my kitchen and delay going to the grocery store by a few days. This is a pantry cooking use it up challenge video. I have this little container in my pantry with the baking items that is sort of like the baking chip graveyard container. Over the course of time, it just sort of collects until I have enough to throw into something, but it's like all different kinds. So in here, I think this is white chocolate chips, butterscotch chips. I think these little square ones were like snickerdoodle chips for something, like a seasonal thing that they had that I thought were really good, and I didn't want to throw them away. So I think I'm gonna attempt like some kind of cookie with these. Probably fitting that I'm using this funfetti cake mix from last Halloween, because these are definitely gonna be like some Frankenstein cookies. I have no idea how this is gonna turn out. The basic recipe for cake mix cookies is a box of cake mix, half a cup of oil, and 2 eggs. So we're gonna start with that and just add all the other things and mix it up and see where we land. Okay, so I went back into the pantry and I found the last few tablespoons of these mini chocolate chips and the last few tablespoons of these little mini marshmallows. So I thought we'd toss them in also. I'll get this all mixed in and then we'll drop them onto a cookie sheet in rounded teaspoons or tablespoons or with a cookie scoop or something like that. We'll bake them up at 350. I'll probably check them after 8 or 9 minutes, see where they are. Then we will discover whether or not this little experiment is a success or not. I started out with my big cookie scoop, and then I remembered that these cookies tend to spread a lot when they bake. So I decided that I would use a smaller cookie scoop, except I don't have a medium cookie scoop right now. It broke a while back and I keep forgetting that I don't have one until I need one. So I pulled out my small one and the cookies are baking now and we'll see how they turn out. Okay, so the Frankenstein cookies with all the random pantry ingredients turned out pretty good. I mean, they look kind of funny, but they taste really good, and that's what matters in the end, right? A few things from the chest freezer that we like to use up. These trout fillets are really tasty and they're not hard to grill. We usually just season them with a little bit of olive oil and then some kind of all-purpose seasoning, like a Cajun seasoning or something, super easy. And then we've also had these shrimp in the freezer for a little while, and these are bigger. They're really good. We've had them before. They're peeled and deveined. So I'll probably just, I don't know if we'll marinate these. Sometimes we just put a little butter on them and put them in a foil packet and throw them on the grill as well, but we'll fire up the grill to get these things cooking and I'll come up with something to go along with it. I have all of these odds and ends of pasta, like the ends of several boxes or bags of pasta. You know, pasta usually comes in a 1 pound package, and 1 pound is just too much for my family of 5, but half a pound isn't enough. So I end up using 10 to 12 ounces in a recipe or for a meal for my family, and that leaves me with like a handful of this and that, various assortments of pastas. So I have rounded them all up. I'm gonna cook them up on the stove, and I think I'm gonna make like some kind of pasta salad. I thought about macaroni, but it's one of those warm fall days. It's almost 90, so I wasn't really feeling something as heavy as mac and cheese. I think I have enough to do like a Caesar pasta salad. That's sort of the vibe I'm going for. Okay, I'm totally winging it on the dressing here, but that's the name of the game with the use it up challenge, right? Try to get creative. So I have some plain Greek yogurt here. This is 2% Greek yogurt. No idea, maybe half a cup or so I'll put in there. I have a few tablespoons of this sour cream left, and since my yogurt is pretty lean, I'll go ahead and toss this in there also. I'm gonna do about just a tablespoon of mayo and a couple of teaspoons of Dijon mustard, tablespoon of olive oil, a splash of Worcestershire. Actually, that's more than a splash in it. That's probably a teaspoon. The juice of 1 lemon. Actually, this is half a lemon. Let's start with just half. A little salt, black pepper, a few cloves of garlic. Pop that into the blender. I read somewhere I can't even remember where, that you are supposed to dress your pasta salad while the pasta is still warm. By the way, I tasted this dressing. It turned out fantastic. I'm gonna just pour the dressing over the top and mix it in, and then I'll pop it in the refrigerator and let it chill for a few hours. And I'm gonna finish it off with some crisp romaine lettuce. I have a romaine heart that I can wash up that we need to use up. And I don't know, I'll see what else I can throw in here to complete it. When it is time to restock your kitchen, you might consider checking out Thrive Market. They are an online grocery retailer and they cater to all kinds of dietary needs and lifestyles. In fact, you can sort their thousands of natural and organic products on their website according to your preferred dietary lifestyle. You can pick out the things that you want and they will ship them right to your door. One of the categories I'm often shopping for from Thrive Market is items for the kids' snacks and lunches. I see so many things there that I don't see in my regular grocery store that are great for the kids to throw in a lunchbox or to throw in a basketball bag or to take to swim practice or band practice with them. And even if I do see some of these products in my regular grocery stores around here, a lot of times it's cheaper at Thrive Market. And even though we don't have any special diets or restrictions, I am often throwing in a few gluten-free snacks and items to keep on hand in our pantry for friends that visit often who do need to eat that way. And as I mentioned, Thrive Market is fantastic for that purpose. If you need keto products, gluten-free products, if you are looking for paleo or vegan products, it's just a great place to shop if you have one of those special dietary lifestyles. Thrive Market has a really great sign-up bonus for new members right now when you follow that link in the description box below, or you go to thrivemarket.com/cmindymom and join Thrive Market. You're gonna get 30% off your entire first order, plus a free gift worth up to $60. There are also lots of pantry staple items that I'm often repurchasing from Thrive Market. Things like rice and pasta and canned tomatoes, sauces that make throwing together meals really easy, and of course, coffee. Again, visit thrivemarket.com/cmindymom and join to get 30% off your entire first order and a free gift, or just follow the link in the description box below. And thank you again to Thrive Market for sponsoring today's video. It is Saturday morning and it's actually already 8 o'clock and everybody's still asleep. It's one of those rare Saturdays when we don't have anywhere to be, at least not early in the day, like not all morning, so everybody can sleep in. I am just getting some coffee going because that will go well with the coffee cake that I'm about to start making to use up something in the freezer. I am using a recipe from Serena Bakes Simply from Scratch. I'll leave it linked in the description box below. And a buckle, from what I can surmise, it's called that because it's a dense sort of coffee cake batter, so sometimes it sinks just a little bit in the middle after it cools because the batter is so dense, and then it has a crumb topping on top. I have made a blueberry buckle before and it's delicious. I haven't tried it with blackberries yet though, so what I decided was to put the batter in the cake pan and then just put the blackberries still frozen on top of the batter and then cover everything with the crumb topping and pop it into the oven. And it does have to bake for a little while. I'm gonna check on it after about 40 minutes. It might take closer to 50. And I think it's gonna turn out really great. If it turns out like the other buckles that I've made, it's so fantastic. It's such a delicious coffee cake. You gotta try it. When I do this little exercise, the goal is not to eat up every ounce of food in the house before I go grocery shopping. I'm usually looking for 3 different kinds of items in my pantry, fridge, and freezer. The first category of items I'm looking for are open packages and partially used products. I'm talking about the last few dollops of sour cream in the refrigerator. I'm talking about that open package of rice. I'm talking about the half box of pancake mix. The last few handfuls of pastas that are left over from multiple packages. It's a really good feeling to come up with a way to use the last little bit of everything that I've already paid for, right? The second category of item that I'm looking to use up in these challenges are perishable items. Things that have a shelf life. They have a best by date. They have an expiration date. They are not going to last forever. This is especially true of fresh produce and almost anything that I find in my refrigerator. Different kinds of dairy, you know, cheeses. Sometimes I'm even looking in the door at the condiments like salad dressings and sauces or jars of salsa that have been open for a little while, and think about how I can use those things up before they go bad. And then the third thing is simply stuff that's been in my kitchen for a long time or in my freezer for a long time. Maybe it's something that was on sale, so it was a good buy and I picked it up without an immediate intent to use it, and I just have never gotten around to figuring out what to do with it. Or maybe it's a product that I did purchase for a specific recipe, but I ended up not making it, and it's been, you know, sitting in my pantry or in my freezer since then. It's not necessarily that it's something I don't think we'll like. It doesn't have anything to do with the quality of the product. It's just something I know I have to make a conscious effort to use. So I'll pull that product out and figure out how I can build a meal or a recipe around it. This was a really quick and easy skillet meal I threw together from things that I had on hand. I had some smoked sausage in the refrigerator. I had some rice. I had half a package of mixed veggies in the freezer that I wanted to use up. So before I sliced up these smoked sausages and tossed them into the pan, I actually got the rice browning in a little bit of butter on the stove, about 2 tablespoons, and I let that brown on the stove for about a minute or so. I had about 1.25 cups of rice left, and I went ahead and just used all of that. I seasoned it with a little bit of this Saison seasoning mix. These are really fantastic. One of you viewers put me onto this. They're really versatile and very flavorful. So after the rice was done browning, I browned up the sausages with it for a few minutes and threw everything into the pot with about 2.5 cups of water. I let it simmer covered for 10 minutes, and then I just turned the heat off and let it sit covered off the heat for 10 minutes, and it turned out perfect. My son especially really enjoyed this meal. Another thing about this little exercise is that it often brings to the forefront things that I have forgotten about. Maybe just because they're hiding in plain sight, like they've been in that spot in the pantry so long that I no longer notice them, or maybe because they've gotten pushed behind other products or to the back of the refrigerator where I can't see them. I think it also helps prevent me from overbuying certain things. I mean, we've all done that thing where we're standing in the grocery store wondering if we have brown sugar and we're not sure, so we keep buying packages of brown sugar and we end up with like 5 of them in our pantry. So it just gives us a really good opportunity to take stock of what we have and prevent that overbuying thing that can happen to us when we're not sure. And if I do come across multiple packages of an item, sometimes I can consolidate them, especially if they're open packages, so that I'm not storing them in different parts of my pantry or my fridge or my freezer. And I'll remember next time that no, I don't need brown sugar. We already have it. I had a couple of chicken breasts in the freezer that I wanted to use up. And last night there were only 4 of us for dinner, me and the kids, because my husband was away at a meeting. So I was like, okay, I think I can make this work with just the 4 of us. And I had a packet of marinade that I've had in my pantry for a little while. It was like a Caribbean jerk marinade. So I got the chicken breast marinating in the afternoon. I wish I had gotten them marinating sooner because I think they would have been even better. But they were in the marinade for about 3 hours in the refrigerator, and then I just tossed them onto a foil-lined cookie sheet and baked them up in the oven until they were done. I had about half a pint of heavy cream in the refrigerator that was short dated. It was still good, but it was gonna probably not be good for much longer, and I wanted to make sure I used that because heavy cream's gotten kind of expensive. And I noticed that I also had some Parmesan cheese, I had butter, so I had the makings for Alfredo, my sister's recipe, which is just butter, garlic, Parmesan cheese, heavy cream, pasta, a little bit of pepper. My kids are huge fans of that, so I was able to make just a small batch, like a half batch of Alfredo for everybody to eat along with their chicken, and it came together quickly. It was really delicious. Everybody enjoyed it, and we ate it all, so there were no leftovers. And now it is time to head out the door and go to the grocery store. I was able to restock some things in my pantry with my Thrive Market order, but I need to go and get some fresh produce and some other things to restock the fridge and to make meals with in the coming weeks. Hopefully this video was encouraging, and I hope that it inspires you to maybe try the same thing before you head out to the grocery store, delay that trip, and use up some stuff that you already have on hand. So thank you again to Thrive Market for sponsoring today's video. They're linked in the description box below. YouTube thinks you might want to check out one of these other videos next, and if so, I'll see you there. Until next time, I'm off to the grocery store.